I hope we keep this momentum for next week against Clemson. Fascinating comment right there. Same. I hope Syracuse keeps the momentum and they beat Clemson next Saturday on the road. Now, at the time that I am recording this, Clemson is currently losing to Georgia Tech. I do not know what the outcome of the game is by the time you are watching or listening to this podcast, but as of right now, I do know that Clemson is losing. But I stopped watching the game for a little bit to go ahead and record this podcast for you all. Two things here. First, I am a believer in momentum in sports. I know there are some out there that will say momentum in sports is not real. It's not an actual thing. That's not true. That's simply, it's not. Momentum is a real thing in sports because it's all about an athlete's mindset and all about a coach's mindset as well. And when things are going good, it's not that you're immune to bad things happening, but when you have that positive momentum and that positive injury, it's more likely that good things are going to happen. And it works the other way around too. When bad things start happening, bad things start to pile up, mistakes start to happen, all of a sudden, negative momentum comes. And it could spiral because it's a mindset thing. And if you don't believe in momentum, then these guys are not robots out here. They're real human beings. They have emotions, and sometimes they're going to be up, sometimes they're going to be down. And the most important thing you can do as an athlete is to try to stay as level-headed as possible. So that's number one. I am a believer in momentum in sports, and I do hope it continues for next week against Saturday. But here's the deal, though. Clemson is Clemson. This is an entirely different animal than Colgate. How much momentum did Syracuse really gain from dominating Colgate? I don't think they necessarily took a step in either direction. Did they get better? Did they get worse? I mean, we talked about it earlier. Did they improve or did they not? I don't think we can really make that determination from last night. The only determination that we can really make is that Syracuse played an FCS opponent and they handled their business. That's okay. That's good. Golf clap for that. That's what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to go out and dominate Colgate. That's exactly what they did. But I'm not going to sit here and say, well, now you dominated Colgate. You're ready to play Clemson. I mean, you got all this positive momentum heading your way. Not really. We'll find out what happens on Saturday. I don't think you really gain that much momentum by beating a team by a lot just because it's an FCS opponent. Simple as that. Also, I don't really care how this game finishes out between Clemson and Georgia Tech. I really don't. Clemson could lose this game, and they are still the Clemson Tigers to me. This is a team that's still loaded with 4- and 5-star talent across the board. Clemson is also at home for this game. The Orange, by the way, have never won at Clemson. They've never won there in their program history. So Clemson, they have the talent advantage over Syracuse on paper, and they also have home field advantage in a building that Syracuse has never actually won in. It's going to be a really difficult game. And Syracuse is probably going to have to be on its A game in order to beat Clemson, which we'll talk about next week on Locked On Syracuse. But thank you for the comment right there about the momentum, and hopefully it can continue versus Clemson on Saturday. And finally, let's get to this one right here. Time for a new opponent as Colgate is getting old, blowouts every year. First off, I think every team in a power conference is entitled to have at least really only one FCS opponent on their schedule. I think having multiple FCS opponents on the schedule is ridiculous. But everyone should be entitled to one. That's your free win. That's the game where you can have everyone show up in your building and expect to win and see a lot of players. And hey, look at him. Like he was a recruit in the 2025 class. We haven't seen him on the field. And look, now he's on the field, right? Maybe you were someone who wanted to see a guy like Luke Carney play. And hey, look, he played for a play. Pretty cool, right? So I think everyone's entitled to play everyone entitled to play one FCS opponent if you are in a power conference. That's a free win. Take it. As far as Colgate is concerned, Syracuse has only played Colgate 4 times since 2010. It's more of an older rivalry than it is a rivalry now. 4 times since 2010. And yeah, I mean, they've all been blowouts, but that's what's going to happen when you have an FBS team going up against an FCS team. In 2010, it was a 42-7 game. 2016 was 33-7. 2023, we've discussed 65-0. And then last night was 66-24. The good news is that we know Syracuse's full non-conference slate for the 2026 season already. So they're going to play Notre Dame. They're going to, I think, go on the road and play UConn. They got Toledo. And their one FCS opponent that they're going to play is not Colgate. It is New Hampshire next year. So don't worry. They're not playing Colgate next year. They're playing New Hampshire as their FCS opponent. Just like how last year they played Holy Cross. And sometimes they'll play UAlbany as an FCS opponent. Differs every single year, but I think Syracuse every year should definitely play an FCS opponent.